not nearly what you hope to see in a healthy and robust market. And really simply, we think that the learning game sector faces a handful of unique challenges. And once those challenges are overcome, and we do think they will be overcome, opportunities for exits are going to open right up. So we think sales and distribution represents just one of those unique challenges. And there are challenges both on the consumer side and on the enterprise side. So for businesses focused on, or have a B2C approach, of course the App Store continues to be really the most effective way to reach potential customers. And with over 2 billion apps, this is just in the Apple App Store, and another 1,000 being uploaded every day, and with games and education being the most crowded categories of the App Store, investors are, of course, weary of a business where increasing customer acquisition costs and increasing CPI is really almost inevitable. And again, this really favors the bigger game studios, the bigger game companies, not the smaller entrepreneurs and startups. The enterprise side also faces a number of sales and distribution challenges as well, namely around procurements. So if you're selling into schools, you're selling into districts, or into the enterprise, you know that procurement is slow and it's really expensive, again, favoring the much bigger companies who can afford to do that. This next challenge is, I think, really more of a perception than a reality. It's certainly not something that my team at GSB agrees with, but it is something that we continue to hear from investors, that they have a difficult time getting their arms around the learning game space because they view game companies they view the game sector as a hits-driven market. In other words, you need one giant title to be successful, and of course it's extremely difficult to get there, that there's really no formula for success. And then the last challenge I'll just touch on briefly is this one. And that's that if you look at the ecosystem, it seems like it's missing some of the most obvious players. So the most active game investors, groups like Index, Excel, and there are several others, groups that are really actively investing in consumer game companies. And then the top game companies themselves, like EA Sports, Nintendo, Capcom, again, there are a number of others. Both of these groups have largely been absent from the learning game sector, and hopefully that changes quickly. One really encouraging trend, and it's not shown on this page, is that if you look at the major children's brands and toy companies like Hasbro, like Mattel, like Lego, we do know that as those companies are thinking about their future, reimagining their businesses, moving from, I guess, a physical or analog world to a digital one, that games and digital learning are absolutely top of mind for them. So that, again, is quite an encouraging trend. Okay, so we got some of the challenges out of the way. Now we just want to talk a little bit about why other investors are so optimistic about the learning game space as an area for potential investment. I'll just start with the really easy and obvious ones. The game-based learning sector is huge, any way you slice and dice it. So this page shows that almost $2 billion is spent on learning games every year, clearly dominated by the consumer space today. But the institutional markets of pre-K through 12, and higher education are among the fastest growing, as you can see here, with higher ed actually being the fastest growing space. Also speaking to the size of this market, and again, I think the people in this room are probably quite familiar with these statistics. There are over 2.5 billion gamers worldwide. Demographics are really interesting and attractive. And just bearing down on education space specifically, there are 50 million students in the K-12 space. This is in the US. 20 million students in higher education. Any way you slice and dice this market, it's massive opportunity.